Welcome to Body Time. I'm Jacob DeGate. Glad to have you here with us today. And also joining us, we have Will Terrio and we have Linda Terrio, who's from the Regional Military Museum. Thank you all very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so Will, you're the president. How long have you been the president?
I've been the president this year, 1 year.
First year,
1 year.
okay. And I understand you'll have a couple of upcoming events that are coming up in March, if you want to tell us about those.
The primary event that we're going to host on the 25th, we're going to be honoring all Vietnam-era veterans. The public is invited, but we owe these men such a great amount of gratitude for what they have went through and what they have done. It's going to be a big day. We're going to have special set up. The lady that's in charge of the Louisiana Women's Military Association, her name is Anna Saunders. She'll be there with some information for lady veterans.
Okay.
Also, we learned from Anna that years ago, there was a honor tour to Washington, D.C. for World War II veterans. They've now opened those same tours up to Korean and Vietnam veterans.
Really?
So veterans from that era will be eligible to make a free flight to Washington, D.C. for the day. And those flights will emanate out of Baton Rouge, and they're going to start sometime in October. They'll be eligible for local people in October. So it's a big thing that we're looking forward to, and it's going to be hopefully well received by the public.
Well, it certainly seems like a good idea and a good way to honor them. I believe you'll have a speaker that'll be there as well? Or the MC.
Our master of ceremonies is going to be Major General retired Hunt Downer,
Okay.
who's always a fun guy to be with.
Sure, he sure is.
Yes, and there will be food, and this is being co-sponsored not only by the museum, but also the United Veterans League, and it's also going to be sponsored by the motorcycle.
It's Vets United.
Vets United.
It's a different organization.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Vets
it's okay.
United.
I don't want to correct you, but yeah,
All
Vets
right.
United, Zydeco, Davison, is it the
Harley Davidson.
Uh-huh, and also Trionator.
Okay.
So we're the big fun ones that's paying the bills.
Well, that's good. And what time will it start at?
It's going to start at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's going to be a short program,
Okay.
and there will be food.
There'll be food, and it's free admission, is that what?
Yes,
Admission,
yes.
yeah.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. And then you'll also have, coming up a few days early, I think you'll have another event on the 21st?
Right after, right. His birthday's on the 21st, is that correct? Your birthday's on the 21st?
Yes.
So
But
that's his
we're not
birthday party.
We're not celebrating my birthday.
But we have a roundtable discussion on the
On the
21st.
21st, we're going to have a roundtable discussion like we have in the past. For many, many years, once a month, we had a roundtable discussion at the main library where some veteran would talk on some subject of some conflict that the United States was involved in.
Okay.
And it started out in 2004, where a lot of the veterans that were returning from World War II told us what they went through, the battles they were involved in, and they continue till today. So we've had guest speakers from early world wars to the present.
Yeah, our guest speaker on that day will be Maurice Brunet. He's a Vietnam wounded veteran, and he will have a slideshow, and his intentions are to have what he's calling a show and tell. So he will show his slides, and you'll have time at that time to question more detailed what the pictures represent.
Well, that'll certainly be interesting, because I know a lot of people, sometimes they may know somebody who was a veteran, and they're hesitant to ask, because you never know whether or not the person's willing to talk about it. But this one, certainly it'll be a great opportunity to learn a little bit more about,
Right.
what all the military went through it. during
He's
that time.
also a Purple Heart recipient and also a Bronze Star with Valor.
Wow.
So-
And then he's going to bring a slideshow, and I know those are interesting to see. I know That's one thing I did for my father-in-law. I took all his old slides, they had a bunch of pictures from Vietnam, and, put those on a CD, and it's very interesting to see, just what they went through. You really gave you a great look into the time period.
We're very blessed that Veterans Organizations has contacted us. Besides the one that Will talked about with the women's group, a veterans organization from Baton Rouge is coming, and believe it or not, somebody from Mississippi is coming to help, to see what veterans may need, and also answer questions. So if we can get the veterans out there, it ought to be an awesome day.
Okay, and then that's for the roundtable?
The 25th.
You're
the
talking about the
20 right,
25th, yeah.
right.
Yeah, the more people, certainly, the better, and it'll be for a better turnout, and facilitate more discussion, and
Correct.
and just show our appreciation for
Yep.
all that they went through over there.
We're very active at the museum, so there's also an event on the April 22nd. Correct, Will?
On April the 22nd, once a year, we have at the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Rifle Range a live fire demonstration, where if you own any type of military weapon, you're welcome to come to that on that day, give us a short explanation about your particular weapon, and you get to fire it. So you get the public get to witness what it feels like, what it sounds like.
Wow, yeah, that's something not people around here, that something you don't see, and but seeing those guns that you
Yeah.
may have in storage, actually seeing what they're capable of, it's
Yes.
amazing. Talking about a couple of events they have going on, celebrating Vietnam era veterans, an appreciation day that they have upcoming in March, and then also, we're talking a little bit about off air about a new acquisition that you got. If you want to, Linda, if you want to tell us a little bit about that.
I'll take one,
Okay.
the one I'm in love with. We have a 1941 Plymouth staff car, correct?
Right.
It is awesome. And it's in the shop. It needs some interior work. But when that's going to come out for display, it's going to be what they call that, when people want to come see it.
Sure.
I mean, wow. And now Will talk about the one we got Saturday.
We got a call 2 weeks ago from a young lady whose father was from Lafitte, Louisiana. And he was a Vietnam veteran. He had a 2015 Chevrolet Camaro who he decorated with the names of over 800 veterans. The car is emblazoned with names of all veterans from all wars. He passed away in November, and she called, would be interested in acquiring that automobile for our collection. There's enough room on the car to add 800 more names.
Oh, really?
The car is in our shop being cleaned up. It's going to be on display for the 25th, and we ask people to come look at it. And any veteran that wants his name on the car, we will try to accommodate and put their name on the car.
That sounds
It
wonderful.
is a great acquisition for our museum.
I have to say something. Even Elvis Presley is on that car.
Really?
He was a veteran.
I didn't realize
He's
that.
got Elvis Presley. Do you remember some of the other names?
No.
He has a section where you have stars that were veterans.
But anyway, it's something to behold.
Okay. And is that, how y'all get most of y'all acquisitions, just from word of mouth, people contacting you?
Most of our acquisitions are word of mouth. People call us almost every day, and we get stuff that has been in closets for years and years. Some of the artifacts that we received are amazing, and I'm going to tell you a very amusing incident about one of our acquisitions.
I was hoping he'd say it.
Early on, a man showed up and he says, "I'm renovating this house, and I found this bomb in a closet, and I want to know if y'all are interested in it." And the bomb was an early bomb, and it was about 2.5 feet long, and it had a little propeller on the front. So we were new, and so we called the police. So they sent a patrolman and a rookie policeman to look at it. And as we were speaking, the rookie is spinning the propeller. And the veteran policeman says, "You're arming the bomb."
Well, glad y'all still here. then.
So what we did is we called Fort Polk, and they sent a bomb squad out, and they brought that particular bomb to the dump, and they detonated it. It was a live bomb.
Wow, yeah.
So that was an ordeal that we learned early on. If you don't know anything about it, don't touch it.
Yeah, it doesn't happen too much over here, but you know, in Europe, you always hear stories about them finding and having
yes.
to do that.
And one man showed up one time with a cannonball. And it happened at that particular time where a man from South Carolina was opening up a cannonball, and it was live and it exploded and killed him. So we kindly declined accepting it and so the man disposed of it himself.
There are so many awesome stories. For example, yesterday when the people came in with uniforms, we found out about her dad and the Higgins boat. You were there yesterday when she came, Will?
Yes.
That's an awesome story, too. It's amazing the collection. In fact, one of our new volunteers, as she was telling the story how her dad, well, I'm probably not going to say how Higgins and him were drinking partners, but anyhow, maybe we'll say it. But the new volunteer was so interested in the story, she was writing notes down. So Will can tell you that as we receive artifacts, we log everything in. And so she's going to log that story in with the artifacts.
Her father was a contemporary of Andrew Higgins. They used to go out and drink beer together.
There you go.
Well,
And Higgins built PT boats besides landing craft, another craft. He built PT boats. And he was having trouble with a particular PT boat. He couldn't get it on the step, so to speak, to gain full speed. And the lady's father says, "I know your problem and I can solve it." And Higgins says, "Well, I've been trying." I said, "I can't do it." He said, "I doubt you can do it." And the conversation, so she said, went, "Well, if I solve it, you buying the beer." And the man told Andrew Higgins what he needed, and he did whatever it was, and the boat, it worked.
just like that.
And so that way, Andrew Higgins was buying this man's beer from then on. It's a very interesting story.
Yeah, volunteering there's never a dull moment, and it's very emotional in some of these people that come in to share the stories. But we listen, we log it, and we receive it.
And it's a very important part of that, you know, being there
Yes.
to put it down so that story doesn't get lost forever. Keep that memory alive of
Correct.
you know, all the efforts that went into it.
Now, small clarification. I've known Linda since she's a teeny bopper.
Oh, yes, I know what you're going
We're,
to say.
we're both terriers, but we're not married.
We're
all
not
right?
related.
We've been friends for many, many years, but her husband is a terrier from Gibson, and I'm a terrier from Cutoff, Louisiana.
Well, thank y'all for everything that y'all are doing. We certainly appreciate y'all coming on.
And we appreciate KHOM. You've been very good to the museum, and we
Yes.
thank you.
All right, well, thank you. Stay tuned for more right here on HTV.